So my journey into entrepreneurship literally makes no sense. In fact, most people who become entrepreneurs don't have this clear, straight line to becoming business owners, right? Truthfully, a lot of times it just lands on our lap or it finds us or we're completely bamboozled by what we're doing and we want to go do something else. My journey makes no sense. I got a degree in human physiology. I played football at the University of Colorado. Graduated on a Friday. I walked into a commodities and trading brokerage the following Monday, and that was in the middle of 2008. Fast forward, I was 4 years into trading futures, sleeping with a laptop next to my bed, when I woke up one day and realized this sucks. Waking up to watch the coffee market open at 1 or 2 in the morning, managing other people's money and highly leveraged futures was not something that I wanted to do. So I made a pivot and I had an opportunity to join a fast-growing marketing and technology company where I ultimately came in and led strategy. And very thankfully, got the opportunity to help grow that company from 0 to 100 million. I got to be an entrepreneur. I got to build departments. I got to sell. I got to market. I got to run leadership. I got to lead a team of like 350 people. And it was an incredible, incredible experience. One that I would suggest everybody does. I think everybody should get some experience under their belt before they decide to take the entrepreneurial leap. In fact, that's how most people make the transition. They make the transition into entrepreneurship after 7 to 10 plus years working in the industry. Don't believe what you see on TV about everybody who becomes a successful entrepreneur, dropped out of college, or built something in their dorm room. That's not the reality of it. Most entrepreneurs in this country are people between the ages of 30 to 40 years old. So if you're a millennial and you're watching this, 29 to 44, you're like in the sweet spot. We're in the middle of the greatest wealth transfer in history. And so now you have a massive opportunity to take that leap, start that business, buy that company. And that's how my journey pretty much went. I was completely wore out and tired of working for somebody else after 10 years. And so I left the marketing company where I was making great money. We're talking $300,000 a year. I had stock options. I had, benefits and all the cushy stuff that comes with being a part of a larger company. But I really wasn't feeling fulfilled. And for me, entrepreneurship is like creativity. It's singing your own song. It's writing music. It's creating art. And so I left. I walked away from that and I went out on my own to go full tilt into the world of real estate. I was raising money. I was trying to put together real estate deals. And then 2020 hit, right? Another economic cycle came through and the world went pencils down on real estate. And so I had a decision to make. Keep running one of my small businesses or go and try to buy another one. And as I jumped into the deep end of the pool of buying a Main Street business, what I quickly realized was it is totally fragmented and there is a real lack of technology and resources and tools that actually help people buy businesses or even sell them for that matter. It's completely a mess. And so I said, if buying a business is a good opportunity, then trying to fix the marketplace problem is probably a bigger opportunity. That ultimately invested into a tech-enabled, AI-native Main Street investment bank, which is what Clearly Acquired is today. But adjacent to that is our Catalyst Fund, where we invest in Main Street businesses with operators who run existing companies or searchers who are doing leveraged buyouts. And I can tell you what, that this segment of Main Street and private equity is probably the most fun. It's not traditional private equity where you're just placing capital and kind of sitting back and doing the financial management or inorganically doing mergers and acquisitions. It's really for operators. It's really for people who like to roll their sleeves up and want to get their hands a little bit dirty, because that's the competitive advantage. When you go and buy a smaller business, the multiples are really low. But if you can optimize that business, you can improve that business, then you can see some doubles and triples on the multiple when you go to exit. But at the end of the day, building a company is incredibly hard. So we don't just think about, building the company to sell it. We're thinking about how do we cash flow it in perpetuity? How do we build an asset that gives us ultimate options? And how do we help the operator that we're working with ultimately take that next step in their career, right? Whether that's leaving the business, whether that's cash flow in the business, exit optionality is ultimately what we're after. But I'll tell you what, it's hard. I mean, we've put a lot of money and a lot of our own time into actually building up this brand and this platform, to driving traffic, to optimizing and testing, before we even went and raised any kind of money from investors for our Catalyst Fund. And so I say all that to just kind of give you some broader insight of like what it takes to actually be an entrepreneur, but also the journey that we're on. And so my goal here is to document what we're doing along the way of building a, micro private equity, that's the fancy way of saying it, investment firm, a search fund investment firm, alongside of our tech-enabled Main Street Investment Bank, where we're going to be building tools and technologies and buying business and selling businesses and working with other brokers and advisors to do the same. And so I hope you come along. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to give you an inside look. Peace and God.